Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
Mr. Wilkins? 3 cents, jackknife, and a watch. Is that right?
That's right.
Sign that receipt.
Boy, you can sure give a man a hangover with that gun barrel of yours.
Well, that's better than being shot, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon. Thank you, Marshal.
And don't come back.
Don't worry. I won't.
Mr. James, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a dime. Rabbit's foot and a comb. Sign it. Mr. Clements, 20, 40, 60, 80, 110, and 12 cents. Looks like you didn't spend much, Mr. Clements. You're lucky.
Sure. Real lucky. Spending my vacation in this hole.
Oh, it's not too bad. Food's pretty good.
Listen to me, Earp. You made a monkey out of me, and I'll be back. And I'm not coming alone, either. My brothers will be with me, and you'll wish you'd never seen me.
Clements, you made a monkey out of yourself. You didn't check your guns, and you had plenty of time to do it. Now, as for your brothers, I took care of Mannon, and I'll be very happy to meet the rest of them.
I'll tell them.
Yeah, you do that. Now, here's your gun. But I don't want you to load it or put it on until you get in the outskirts of town.
You're throwing me out of town, huh?
That's right. When you cool off, you can come back in town if you want to. But remember to check that. Come here. Sign your receipt.
Like I said, I'll be back.
I'll be here. Clements. You slam that door and I'll throw you back in the cell.
That young Clements is going to turn out even worse than his brothers, if he lives long enough.
His pride's hurt, that's all. He'll get over it.
Marshal, there's a funny-looking dude over at the Wichita. Says he wants to see you.
A dude?
Yeah, and packing the biggest gun I ever saw. You ought to see the size of it.
Yeah, I guess I ought to. Sam, check those out for me, will you?
Yes, sir.
I'll be back in a little while.
So Earp came from Ellsworth to Wichita several months ago, huh?
Yep.
Well, why'd he leave Ellsworth? They run him out?
Yep. I insulted him, so he left. He's very sensitive.
Now, never mind the sarcasm. I just want the facts, Doctor. I want to know everything there is to know about Wyatt Earp. Well, now what's the matter?
Nothing. I was just wondering if you'd fit a regular-sized coffin or if I should have one specially made to order. A little wider across the beam.
Now, you stop talking like that, or
what?
Or you stop drinking out of my bottle. Now, you ready to answer my questions?
All right.
All right.
I'll answer all I can.
Well, now, how many men did he kill?
Who?
Well, who do you think? Wyatt Earp.
Oh, him. None? None as far as I know.
All right. None? Well, what kind of a frontier marshal is that?
I think I'd better let the marshal himself answer you on that one.
Wait. Are you Wyatt Earp?
Yes, sir.
Well, I've come a long way to meet you. My name is Buntline, Ned Buntline. You heard of me, of course.
I don't think I have, Mr. MacMurray.
Oh, you must have. I write dime novels about the West. I've written hundreds of them. What's the matter, you people out here? Don't you read?
Well, I'm just about to ask you the same question. Can you?
Well, Sir, you are addressing a man whose command of English is the envy of...
A simple no or yes will be sufficient, Mr. Buntline.
Well, of course I read, you idiot.
Then you're under arrest.
Under arrest? What for?
For that.
Huh? For what? Oh, I'm a little nearsighted. I can't see a thing. Oh. I beg your pardon, Marshal.
If you don't mind.
This isn't loaded.
Well, the law makes no distinction between loaded and unloaded guns, Mr. Buntline.
It isn't even mine. Just read the inscription on it.
What's this all about?
It's a gratuity, Mr. Earp. It's a small token of my admiration for you as the most stalwart of the... It's not true that you haven't killed anybody here in Wichita, is it? Oh, it doesn't make a difference. People will never believe that. They'll believe what I tell them to believe. Marshal, this is your lucky day.
Mr. Buntline, I think you've been drinking a
Well,
little too
of
much.
course I have. That's what saloon's for, isn't it?
Well, I think you better come along with me.
Well, I certainly will. That's what I've traveled 2,000 miles to do. Mr. Earp, you are one of the... I've undergone a great many inconveniences to make this trip. I left my favorite razor back in Boston. I forgot it. Now I can't shave until I get back home.
Why not?
Because I'm sensitive.
Oh.
And believe me, sir, I didn't leave a luxurious home in New England just for the trip. I came here for one purpose, and one purpose only, to see Marshal Wyatt Earp of Wichita and to offer him fame and wealth beyond his wildest dreams.
Mr. Buntline, I still haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about.
Well, now, surely the thought of fabulous wealth, complete financial independence, surely that's a thought worth exploring, is it not?
Go ahead and explore it.
Smoke, gentlemen. They're specially made. Cost more than $1 each.
No, thanks.
Are the windows open? I'll take one.
Mr. Earp, have you ever heard of a man named William F. Cody?
Buffalo Bill? Sure.
Do you know who made Buffalo Bill? Do you know who changed him from a nondescript, practically penniless hunter into an international figure of fame?
No.
Do you know...
You know this isn't a bad cigar. Thank you.
Do you know who made Buffalo Bill the idol of every female in America? Do you know who enabled him to earn 50,000 American dollars in less than 1 year's time?
No, who?
Me, Ned Buntline.
It figures.
And I can do the same thing for you. Now think of it. Your name up on the banners, just like Buffalo Bill's. Ned Buntline presents his Wild West show, featuring in person Wyatt Earp, the great frontier marshal. How does that sound to you?
It sounds ridiculous.
What? Well, maybe I haven't made myself clear. All you'd have to do would be to...
All I'd have to do is stand up on a stage and make a fool of myself, get all dressed up in fancy clothes, and smile at 1,000 staring faces. Oh, you make yourself very clear.
Now, just a moment, Marshal. Don't... I warn you that...
I'm the one that does the warning around here. Now, you get out and stay out. Go on to back where you came from.
Well, you can't
Go on,
talk to
just
me
get
like
out.
that. I'm not...
Wyatt. You took the fella too serious. He was only trying to make you filthy rich.
Filthy is the word.
Sit down. I want to give you some advice. Oh, I know you never listen to any of it. But will you please sit down now? Please listen to me.
All right.
Wyatt, each man has to decide what he will do or won't do for money. But I hated to see you passing judgment on Buntline.
I didn't do that.
A plain no is enough. Instead, you throw him out. That's passing judgment.
I guess I did lose my temper.
Buntline can claim respect on a good many counts. I'd say offhand that he's made about 1 million children happy. Don't you add that to his favor?
Yeah. All right. I was wrong. I'll apologize to him.
Good. Oh, and another thing. He went to considerable trouble and expense to have this thing specially made for you. Now, the least you can do is try it out for him.
Maybe I will.
Look at that. I wonder what it is.
Well, good morning, gentlemen.
He's alive. It talks.
Come on, let's go to town. We got things to do.
Now, wait a minute, kid. That'll keep. That's one thing you gotta learn. Never pass up fun when you find it. Life's too short.
What do you mean? What do you mean, fun?
Fun. Say, you know, that's a real fancy outfit you've got on that.
Well, thank you very
yes,
much.
It's a nice...
Yeah, no, stop it, will you?
Say, wait a minute, mister. There's one thing you gotta learn about this country. Don't insult people who are trying to make friends with you.
Well, I didn't insult you. I'm... Will you have a cigar?
Well, you're a dude smuggler, huh? You're in trouble.
Oh, I'm no... Hey, now, cut it out, you men, will you? Now, I warn you, you'll regret it.
You don't say.
Yes, I do say. I don't think the Marshal would like to see his friends mistreated.
The Marshal, huh? You friend of the Marshal?
Wyatt?
Yeah.
Well, I should say I am. He's practically a partner of mine. Now, I tell you, let's just forget this, and I won't say anything. I've got a sense of humor.
Well, it's a good thing you have. Yeah, you're going to need it where you're going. You're coming with us.
Yeah, oh, no, I'm not.
Shut up. You're coming with us.
Well, I guess I am.
Marshal, that Wild Clements kid is back here looking for you with one of his brothers.
Oh, they checked their guns?
No.
Where are they?
Sitting on their horses right up the street. And listen, Marshal, you know that noisy tenderfoot that was here yesterday? Buntline?
Yeah?
Well, he's with him.
You sure?
Positive.
That's close enough, Marshal.
Mr. Buntline, you're in bad company.
None of my choosing.
Shut up.
Earp, I told you I was coming back.
Chip, you surprised me. I figured you'd raise your kid brother to fight his own battles.
I did. I just come along to see it was a fair fight. That don't mean no shotgun against a six-gun. It's going to take some mighty fancy scattergun shooting to miss your dude friend here.
Hell, I've never had to kill anyone yet. I'd hate to have you be the first.
It's going to be you or me. You can make up your mind to that.
I'm sorry, boy.
Never mind being sorry. Just get rid of that shotgun. Then you and the kid can shoot it out alone with six guns.
What about you?
You know me better than that. I'm not butting in if it's a fair fight.
All right, Hal, you got yourself a shootout. I'll be right back.
He's yellow.
No, he ain't. He says he'd be back, he'll be back. You just better be fast today, kid.
Don't worry about it. I can beat him.
Yeah, I reckon you can at that. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to make a bet on it if I could find somebody to bet with.
You stay here. All right, Hal, get off your horse.
You said something about a wager, Mr. Clemens. I'd like to bet $100 on the Marshal.
You get yourself a bet.
All right, hold it right there. Now make your play.
You're crazy. You can't hit anything from there.
I can hit you. Now draw.
What's that?
That is a Buntline Special.
What, now just a minute.
Sam, come on over here and break that up.
Well, you had your shootout, Hal. You're still alive, I'm glad.
You really are.
Yeah. We're going to the jail.
Yeah.
You're a mighty excitable little man, Mr. Buntline.
And you're a coward, Mr. Clemens.
Hold it!
You talk about fair fights. You were going to use that rifle on the Marshal.
Oh, it might have looked that way to you, but...
Are you staying in town? If you are, check your gun now.
No, I'm not staying.
Mr. Clemens, you owe me money.
You're right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I wasn't going to use this rifle on the Marshal.
Yes, well, I say you were.
Well, I say I wasn't.
Yeah, all right. You were. Gentlemen, the drinks are on me.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Not till you get that patched up.
Well, we can patch and drink.
You come on over to my place.
I'll see you at the Texas house.
There you are, Mr. Buntline. I'm sure you won't have any complications now. Just wear that for a couple of days.
Yeah, well, I may wear that a little bit longer.
How's your jaw feel?
Well, it's still a little sore, but nothing to affect my drinking.
Would you like a little nip?
You're the doctor.
Well, I prescribed a little spot of elixir.
All right.
I call this Plume's Spaventure. I'm sure you like it.
Good.
It'll take the wrinkles out of your jaw and out of your head.
Thank
Hold
you.
her now. There we go. A little toast.
Huh?
To your health, Mr. Buntline, and to your courage.
Oh, Doc, well, thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
If I was a drinking man, I'd join the doc in that toast.
Well, that's very kind of you to say that, Marshal. So you like the special, huh?
Yes, sir, I sure do. It's a fine weapon.
Good, good. Sit down, Marshal.
Well, thank you. There are a couple of things I'd like to say to you. First, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your action on the street today. You're a very brave man.
Well, I never did anything like it before. You know, Marshal, I think there's something about your part of the country that gives men courage when they need it.
An interesting observation, Mr. Buntline, and very possibly true.
There's something else. I owe you an apology. I hope you'll accept it.
An apology? What for?
For treating you the way I did yesterday. I had no right to be angered by your business proposition. I'm sorry.
Does that mean you accept it?
No, sir. I've thought it over, and, well, I decided against it. I thank you just the same.
Well, I wish you'd tell me why.
Well, I'll try to answer that. I guess it's because I like the frontier. I like the people. I admire and respect them. Even the bad ones sometimes.
I think I know what you mean. Those Clemens brothers, for instance. No matter what else they are, they're still strong men.
Yeah. It takes a certain kind of man to make the West. It always has. I guess I just wouldn't be happy in any of the surroundings, Mr. Buntline. No matter how much money I could make elsewhere.
Well, we'd have cleaned up, you and I. Well, I tried anyway. Believe me, the trip was well worth it.
About this gun.
Now, that gun is yours.
Well, I'd like to keep it, Mr. Buntline, but I can't accept it as a gift. I'll buy it from you. A regulation Colt's worth about $60 new. I figure this is worth about $100. Will that be all right, Mr. Buntline?
It will not. Now, look, I'll make more than 100 times what that cost with my eyewitness account of the hair-raising, breathtaking six-gun duel in the dusty, silent, sun-baked streets of Wichita, Kansas, at 10 cents a copy.
All right, Mr. Buntline. I accept it with thanks. Saved a life today. Might have been my own.
Marshal, all I can say is wear it in good health.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I better get back to Boston and get a shave. Goodbye, Doctor.
Bye.
Yeah. Marshall Earp.
Goodbye, Mr. Buntline. You have a good trip now.
Thank you.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be story be told.
For many months, Wyatt Earp, as Marshal of Wichita, Kansas, had managed to stay clear of feminine entanglement. This took some doing, since numerous young women set their caps for the handsome Mr. Earp. But Miss Mamie Perkins, a church organist, had that mysterious charm which appealed mightily to Marshall Earp, and almost succeeded in proving the frontier adage which stated, "For most men, women are slow, but to a peace officer, they can be quick death."
And stay inside the city limits. Don't cross the city limits, boys. I don't aim having any trouble with Earp. All right, Kennerly, come on out and face the music. Go on back to camp. I don't want to have to shoot any more of you. Let's get him now, Fog. No, wait a minute. You can't hide in Wichita forever, George. And when you do come out, we'll be watching every road. I ain't riding with the Fog MacMurray crowd no more. If you want to go on living, Fog, you and the boys better hit the trail. Now get going. We got him holed up. And when he does come out, we'll kill him. And that'll keep Earp and his deputies from getting after us. Let's get back to camp. Come on.
Church this morning.
I had a little trouble down at Denver Jones's.
Oh, I was wondering about the guns. Was anybody hurt?
No.
Now just look, I walked all the way downtown with you.
Exercise is good for you, Miss Mamie.
No, but I should be home helping Mama fix Sunday dinner.
Now, how come you spent so much time on me? Is there something you need my help to handle? A favor you want to ask me?
Certainly not. How can you think so cynically of me?
Miss Mamie, I am a little bit in love with you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. If something's worrying you, why don't you tell me? Maybe I can help you.
You're sweet. And I'm just a wretched little fraud.
Miss Mamie.
No. Just try and forgive me.
Wyatt, can I talk to you a minute?
Huh?
Can I talk to you a minute?
Yeah. Well, what's up?
I've been worried about you.
Oh, please, no brotherly lectures, huh?
Can't we just call it brotherly advice?
Sit down.
I've lived in Wichita a long time. I know Mamie Perkins and her folks.
Look, it's not that serious.
Yes, it is. I wish you'd stop seeing her, Wyatt.
Why?
I can't tell you. It wouldn't be fair to Mamie. Perhaps what happened a couple of years ago is over and done with.
What are you trying to tell me?
It's nothing disgraceful. She's a real fine girl. It's just that, well, if you've made up your mind to marry her and she's willing, no problem. You have my blessings. Is that the way it's going to turn out?
Mamie's not in love with me.
And I'm right.
There's another man. Is that what you're trying to say? Well, come on, tell me.
I'm Marsh Murdoch, a newspaper man, remember?
Now, what's that got to do with the price of apples?
Well, I'm something like a lawyer, a doctor. I'm told things in confidence that I can't repeat. Not even to my best friend.
Oh.
All I ask is that you stop seeing Mamie. I think it's good advice.
Well, I think it's good advice, too. But I can't take it.
You mean you still hope that she might change her mind?
No. But I'm still fond of Mamie, and she's in some kind of trouble. And seeing as you won't tell me what it is, I'm gonna keep on trying to persuade her to tell me.
That's plain blind stubbornness.
You're right.
Where's your pride? The whole town's whispering about you and Mamie.
Well, tell them not to whisper. They should speak up.
No, now look, Wyatt, you could marry a half a dozen girls just as pretty. Several of them are ready to fall in love with you for keeps.
Really think so?
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, right now, I'm interested in Mamie.
All right, be stubborn. You're the one who'll get hurt. You ought to have that thick skull cracked open. Your brain needs air or something.
Howdy, Uncle Tad.
Why, George, bless my soul.
You old rascal, you don't look a day older.
Oh, quit blarneying me. Where you been keeping yourself, George?
Oh, I've been batting around. Say, fix me up with a room, huh? Boy, I'm thirsty. I'm hitting for the bar.
Wait a second, son. You gotta check your guns on the rack yonder. Marshall Earp is very strict.
I heard about him. He's been trying to cut me out with Mamie Perkins, ain't he?
Well,
No, now, it's no secret, Uncle Tad. Man told me up at Fog MacMurray's cattle camp about a week ago. I figured it was time I was getting back to Wichita.
Fog MacMurray, you ain't been riding with him.
Oh, now, shh. Had a little argument with Fog about me quitting his outfit. So I had to slap him around a little. I'm really dry, Uncle Tad. See you later.
Hold on, Callahan.
Huh? Who are you?
It's Marshall Earp, George.
There's the rack. Take off your guns.
So you're Wyatt Earp. Well, you're a mighty good-looking fella. I can see how Mamie might kind of forget.
You're a friend of Mamie's, huh?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sore at you. They tell me you're trying to cut me out with Mamie.
Now, George.
You know, I got a good mind to gun you.
Try it.
Okay. Hey, man, you're fast.
Now, I'm buckling.
Sure. I ain't stupid. Are you any good with your fists, Earp?
Yes, he is. Now, George, you go on in the bar and have your drink. George is one of our hometown boys, Mr. Earp. He's been away from Wichita a couple of years. No use for you to quarrel with the Marshal.
Well, Earp's too fast for me to gun him, Uncle Tad. I gotta teach him a lesson somehow. Hey, how about taking off your guns and stepping out and back?
Be glad to.
Oh, George, you never did have good judgment.
What would Mamie think of me if I didn't fight for her? You know, a woman wants a man to be brave, Uncle Tad. Besides, I'm as big as he is, and I weigh more.
Anytime.
My name's Kennerly. They call me Big George. I gotta teach you to stay away from Mamie. But it'd feel better if we shook hands.
No. Come on.
Well, now he's sore. What right has he got to be sore?
You tried to pull a gun on him.
Well, he tried to steal my girl. That ain't any reason for us hating each other. Oh, say, call a doctor, will you, Uncle Tad? Now, no expense to the hotel. I'll pay for checking on him after the fight.
Oh, George. George.
Man, you sure can fight. Rest yourself a while. Come on.
Stop it! Stop! Oh, George! Oh, my darling!
Hi, Mamie.
Oh, George, you're all bloody. Oh, you big brute. You just did this because you're jealous of him. George, honey, I love you, and I waited and waited for you to come home.
No, it's all right, Mamie. Well, I gotta get up and fight now.
Oh, no, I won't let you. Let me in. I'll give him a good
No,
punch
Mamie, you
myself.
can't do that. You can't do that. He can't hit you back.
Let me punch him.
No, Mamie. All right. I'm licked. I give up.
All right.
Mamie, you shouldn't have said all those things to Earp. I'm the one that started the fight. And boy, he sure did accommodate me.
Who's dead?
Nobody.
Skin your knuckles. Who you been fighting?
Big George Kennerly.
Marshall Earp didn't hurt him much, Doc. He's out there now talking to Mamie Perkins.
Big George, huh? So that young idiot came back to town. He quit riding with Fog MacMurray, huh?
Says he did.
Oh. Wyatt, you and I better have a conversation.
About what?
The impending decease of Big George Kennerly. Walk back to the office with me. No, this way. I came in through the bar, I go out through the bar. Superstitious. That's what you get for sparking around Mamie Perkins. Big George may think he quit Fog MacMurray's gang, but nobody quits him.
Well, Fog's just a dirty cattle rustler, you know that.
A road agent and a crazy killing fool. Well, you gonna let George get killed?
I don't care what happens to him. He wants to turn rustler, that's his business, not mine. Now, why didn't you and Mr. Murdoch tell me that girl was in love with George? Fine, loyal friends you are. You never said a word.
Well, we was hoping.
Hoping what?
Well, we was hoping that Mamie would fall out of love with George and lead you into the bondage of matrimony. She sure missed the boat on that one. As a matter of fact, I had a $5 bet even that she'd get you roped.
It was never that close.
Oh, now, Wyatt, it was that close.
Well, it's over now.
Are you going to let Fog MacMurray and his boys cut George down?
Now, they won't come into Wichita.
No, that's true. They're just probably laying outside of town, waiting for him. But that's no concern of yours.
No, it isn't. My authority ends at the city limits. Furthermore, I don't care even...
George, just tell me the truth. There's a lot of bad men after him. Oh, Mr. Earp, can't you help him?
Well, I got my house calls to make.
Oh, wait a minute, Doc.
Now, you just shut the door when you're through talking.
Wait a minute!
I know I did wrong, Mr. Earp. I should have explained to you about George.
Yep.
I thought I was over it. I didn't know if he'd ever come back.
Well, Miss Mamie, he sure come back.
In trouble, though. Because he wants nothing more to do with those men. Because he wants to quit his wild and foolish ways and settle down.
He wants to reform, huh?
Oh, yes, he does. If you help him. I know we haven't any right to ask it. First thing George did was pick a fight with you, and when I think of what I did. But I haven't any pride, and I'm scared. Look, George doesn't know I came here, but you're the only one who can help us.
I don't know why I should, do you?
Well, yes. Because you're you.
That makes a lot of sense. I'll see what I can do.
I'm so glad you didn't really fall in love with me. I'd never have been good enough.
Go ahead and blarney me a little bit. I like it. All right, where's George?
At the hotel. I put arnica on his face.
Yeah. You ask him to do you a great personal favor. You ask him not to leave the hotel room, not to go out in the street. You understand?
Yes, of course.
I'll try to locate the men he had the row with first thing in the morning. I think I got a plan to get him out of town.
Isn't it just money they want? I mean, if it's
well, I won't know until I talk to him. Now, you get him to promise you to stay in that hotel room. It's important.
Well, he'll stay there until we hear from you. And I can't thank you. I haven't the words to try.
Wait a minute.
Howdy, boys. Where can I find Fog MacMurray?
Hold it.
Now, drop your guns. Now, where can I find Fog?
He's up at the North Road.
Thank you, gentlemen.
MacMurray? Yeah, I'm MacMurray.
Good morning.
You're kind of off limits, ain't you, Johnny Law?
My name's Wyatt Earp, and this is a social visit.
Oh, so you're Earp, huh? You're the one Big George had the fight with in town last night. Here you kind of took care of him. Well, he deserved it. Plugged a couple of my boys and pushed me around. Of course, I wasn't wearing a gun at the time. What can we do for you, sir?
Well, I noticed that you got all the roads out of Wichita posted.
We're waiting for Big George to come out.
You really don't like him, huh?
If he does come out, he's apt to be dead.
Isn't there any way that he can settle his beef with you?
No, not at all.
That's too bad. I was hoping to get rid of him.
Well, that's simple. Just chase him out and let him pick his own road.
Oh, well, that's going to be a bit of a problem. You see, well, Big George tried to gun me last night. And, of course, he's awful slow in the draw, but well, he's liable to try it again.
Oh, so that's what's worrying you, huh?
Yes, sir. You see, well, I haven't ever had to kill a man yet, and, of course, I've wounded quite a few of them, but well, I sure hate the idea of having to kill a man.
I never heard that one before. Here's a Johnny Law that's scared he's gonna have to kill Big George. But, son, it don't amount to nothing.
Oh, well, it does in my business, Mr. MacMurray. Well, you see, well, I've set a record that the town is mighty proud of, and, well, they expect me to hold to it. And if I was to, well, tangle with Big George in a gunfight, and if he was to die, why, well, there'd be a coroner's hearing and a trial by the city council, and you're determined to keep him bottled up, huh?
More than ever. Looks like you're taking a nasty job off our hands.
Well, not if I can help it, sir. No, sir. I'm going to try and run Big George out.
He runs Big George out, he's gonna have to kill him. So just take it easy, boys.
Good morning.
Wyatt, where you been? You had me kind of worried, boy.
You better have a little talk in your room.
Okay. Well, never could beat you playing checkers, Uncle Tad. Hey, listen, see, I checked in my guns and I'm in a real good humor.
Well, Fog MacMurray is not in a good humor.
Oh, shucks, now, you shouldn't have gone to all that trouble for me. Well, that's mighty generous of you. Where'd you find Fog?
Another thing, Fog's got men watching for you on every road. He can't be bought off and he can't be talked out of it. The only way for you to get out of town is by train.
Sure made myself a heap of trouble.
Well, maybe I can get you out of this if you do what I tell you.
No, sir, I ain't gonna load myself on you. Fog'll have some boys watching the train depot. Best way for me is to make a dash for it by road. Yeah, tonight.
What about Miss Mamie?
Well, there's always something, ain't there?
You were man enough to leave MacMurray's outfit for her. Now, why don't you grow up all the way?
Grow up?
Hey, look, why don't you just use some judgment and common sense for a change? You can't shoot your way through that whole MacMurray outfit, and you know it. Even if you did, where would you be? Somewhere out in the trail there where they'd just shoot you down like a dog.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Now, sit down and listen to me. I got an idea that might work.
Why do you do this? I got Mamie back from you. Seems to me
It's
like...
none of your business why I do anything. Now, you gonna listen to me?
Okay, Wyatt. I'm listening with my big mule ears.
And I'm going to marry George and leave this town. My uncle in Kansas City will give him a job. Was that plan so foolish, Doc?
Well, it ain't too realistic.
Now, why do you say that?
Fog MacMurray's got Big George holed up here in Wichita.
Oh, well, Mr. Earp's going to fix that. He promised he'd talk to that awful man first thing this morning.
Talking and fixing is two different things. You know, maybe, I was just wondering.
No?
Couldn't you, by a strong effort of willpower, fall out of love with George?
No, I tried that.
Try again, harder.
Now that he's risked his life to break with those criminals, after he's proved he wants to live a decent and respectable life, Doctor, I'm ashamed of you.
Yes, but Mamie, I made some bets.
Now, I told you.
Come in.
Oh, good news.
Well, it's not bad, Miss Mamie.
Didn't Mr. MacMurray...
George is waiting for you to tell you what we have to do over at the hotel.
Oh, fine. I'll see you later.
Don't lie to me. You ain't settled nothing with Fog MacMurray.
You are right. Now on, it's up to you. Yeah.
What?
George's life is in your hands.
What's the matter with him? Is he sick?
He'll soon be dead. And you're going to have to sign a death certificate and put him in a coffin, and then Mamie is going to take him to Kansas City for the interment. She and the remains are leaving on the afternoon train.
You know, I always suspicioned it. I think you got brain fever.
Can you think of a better scheme to get him out of town?
You mean he's going to pretend to be dead?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Look, see, he's going to come out of the hotel to gun me, and we're going to meet out in front of your office. And I'm going to shoot him with a blank, and well, we'll carry him inside here, and you give him a dose of ether.
No! You hear me? No!
Well, wait a minute. It's the only time I've ever asked you a favor.
When did you ever do me a favor?
Well, this is for Miss Mamie.
You got a crush to ask me to falsify a death report on a certificate like that? No! You hear me? Get out of here. Get out. Get out!
All right. It's going to cost you $850.
What?
Remember that claim you made against the government for that patent medicine I lost in the nation's job?
You got the check? Hand it over.
Oh, I can't. United States Marshal, I got to countersign it first.
Blackmail. It's brigandage. It's illegal.
Well, you know that medicine wasn't worth $850.
You signed the claim.
And I can unsign the check. So you and I can't be friends anymore.
Good. That's the best news I ever had in my life. Now, wait a minute. Sign the check.
You do your part first.
Oh, you scoundrel!
George, listen to me.
Earp's trying to steal my girl. I'm going to gun him on sight.
Where's Wyatt Earp? You seen him? Earp's walking back from the jail to Dr. Breek's office. I wouldn't be in a hurry to meet him, cowhand.
I'll blow him down.
Oh, George. George!
Hey, Earp. All right. Make your move. You make yours first.
Go on, get away from him.
This man is dead. What? We'll take care of it.
Move along, go ahead. Break it up. Let's carry him inside.
Big news, Fog. Wyatt Earp killed George in a gunfight about 20 minutes ago.
You see him do it?
No, but I talked to a fellow who was there. Earp got him in the stomach. He was dead when they carried him into Doc for Breeks.
Still sounds too good to be true. Maybe a few of us better ride into Wichita and make sure. You stay here.
You have to get back to work, Uncle Tad. I'll be all right.
Your folks shouldn't let you to go through all this alone, Miss Mamie.
Oh, they'll be here. They're just late. You better hurry along now. And thank you for everything.
Goodbye, George.
I reckon you're the gal that George got himself killed over. We come to pay our respects.
I'm sure you did.
Why don't we take a look, Fog? Maybe Earp got the wrong man. Yeah, he may not even really be dead. Just step aside, ma'am.
Aren't you satisfied? Haven't you done enough to us already?
Well, now, you just step aside, ma'am, and I'll put a few more slugs in there, and then...
MacMurray, put your gun away. Take your men out of town.
All right, son. Congratulations on a good job.
It's all right now, Mamie. Everything will be all right.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. Long may his story be told. story be told.
In Marshal Wyatt Earp's long struggle to tame Wichita, there were 2 points of controversy which historians of the western frontier have argued since 1875. Was Marshall Earp justified in using the famous City Ordinance Number 27 to close crooked gambling joints and rowdy dance halls? And why did he permit Ben Thompson, a notorious gunfighter and killer, to operate a gambling game in Wichita while Marshall Earp's stormy cleanup campaign was raging to a murderous pitch of tensions and hatreds?
Come on, bring him out of there. Go on, there's plenty of bars up the street. You guys go that way and get on down.
Is that all of them? That's the last one of them, Mr.
Unsanitary, you call it. I washed my glasses as clean as any place in this town. You're just using that public health ordinance as a trick, and you're not going to get away with it.
Come on, keep moving.
That's a great idea, Wyatt. You're going to have all of Douglas Avenue hating you.
That's Judge Jewett's idea. See, when the saloon owners get too slick for me to prove crooked gambling, why, he's ordered me to proceed under Ordinance 27. Be a lot quicker.
Can you use it against dance halls?
Yeah, got to close one up the street.
The Dreamland joint?
Uh-huh. They've been importing immigrant girls and paying them almost no wages. Oh, but don't print that in your newspaper. I'm kind of scared to testify.
I understand. The Orient Saloon and the Dreamland Dance Hall were closed today as unsanitary by Marshall Earp. I was ordered to take this action by Dr. Andrew Fabrique, City Health Officer.
Howdy, Marshal.
Oh, hi, Mr. Finley.
I wasn't sure you'd remember me.
Well, I've looked at you over a gun sight once or twice. Mr. Murdoch, this is Jack Finley, friend of Ben Thompson.
Oh, yes. Ben Thompson?
How is Ben these days?
Feels fine, thanks. Oh, Marshal, I know you and Ben had several run-ins over at Ellsworth, but he don't bear you no grudge. And if you...
Why should he?
Well, what I wanted to ask you is, how do you feel about Ben? You saw it, Ben?
No.
Well, will it be all right if he comes into Wichita?
Sure. As long as he stays out of trouble.
I mean, what Ben wants to know is, he wants to buy into a game here.
That's no business of mine, as long as he runs it honest.
Oh, Ben knows that, and he'll run straight as a strip. Is it all right if I tell him you said? Thank you, Mr. Earp. Thank you very much. I'll tell Ben. Oh, he'll sure be mighty pleased.
On the eve of a cleanup campaign that's going to cause you a lot of trouble, you say Ben Thompson can come into town?
Ben and I have settled our differences.
But he's a dangerous gunslinger, a killer, and...
Also a pretty honest man.
Oh, come now, Wyatt.
Well, he's always kept his word to me. I never did hear of him cheating at cards.
But you had a gunfight with Thompson. You sent his brother Bill to prison for killing Sheriff Whitney.
Now, look, Mr. Murdoch, a man in my line of business, well, he's got to let his old quarrels die. To be strictly honest about it, I always did like Ben Thompson.
That's good, Johnny, good. Get down around them cracks there and into them little crevices. Here, put some carbolic acid in that scrub water. And these glasses, I want them all dipped and scalded in water. This place is going to be sanitary. Dave.
Yes, sir.
Where's the roulette wheel?
Well, it was set crooked. Dunphy's fixing it honest.
Good. No wonder Wyatt closed this dump. Well, didn't Jack tell you?
No.
Earp and I are friends.
But he's John Law in this town.
I love Wyatt almost as much as I love my brother Bill.
Yes, sir.
So spread the word. I'll have no talk against Wyatt from the men who work for me or the customers. And another thing, I thought I told you to tell these men how I stood with Wyatt. Dave didn't know you...
I'm sorry, Ben, but you told me to check on all the opposition. In the rush, I might have missed a few.
All right. What'd you find out?
Plenty.
Now, you men keep busy. I want this place spick and span.
And I never listened to such mean talk. Wyatt's going to have a small war on his hands. Ain't nobody likes that ordinance number 27. Anyway, who can run a clean place in a town like Wichita that's all dusty and muddy? It just don't make sense.
Does to me. I told Wyatt he couldn't make that gun-checking law stick up in Ellsworth. But I was wrong. And if he says this town's going to be sanitary, he'll make it stick.
Well, anyway, all the opposition say that ordinance 27 is just an excuse to give Wyatt the power of let run or close up.
You against Wyatt?
Me? Oh, now, Ben, you...
I'm going to tell you a thing or two. Now, Wyatt could have killed me in a fair draw and a fair fight, but he didn't. He could have had my brother Bill hanged, but he didn't. Now, Bill's up in the hospital in Denver. Got a chance to get well.
Well, you should have told us about that before, Ben.
I don't spill things until it's necessary. But when I'm loyal to a man, I go all the way.
Sure, Ben, sure.
Now then, just where do they talk the meanest about my friend Wyatt?
The Hotel Wichita bar?
You got about an hour to get the men ready.
Oh, Ben, trouble our first night in town.
When I'm loyal to a man, I go all the way. Now, I told you that. So get going.
Anytime I like.
But lady, you
Oh,
can't...
lady, I hate that word. Oh, are you Wyatt, the best friend of Ben Thompson?
Well, I know him, yeah.
Like Ramon and Romulus. Oh, it is beautiful.
What's your name?
I'm Lolita Ryan.
More Lolita than Ryan, huh? Oh, what can I do for you?
Oh, I think I'm going to have to hurt Ben's other girl. You are his dearest friend. You chase her out of town for me, please.
Well, you just better sit down. Now, let's get one thing straight. In the first place, I'm not Ben's dearest friend. In the second place, I let him reopen the Orient Saloon because he promised there wouldn't be any trouble and that he'd run an honest game. And another thing, I can't mess into Ben's private affairs. So if he's running around with another girl, you're just going to have to settle it with him.
You will not chase her out of town?
Nope.
Oh, but he doesn't like her very much. He only took up with her because he thought I was with my mom in San Antonio.
Well, you just go tell that to Ben.
Oh, but I did. And he said not to hurt this girl. He say you wouldn't like it. What am I to do? She's no good. She's one of the biggest...
Wyatt, Ben Thompson and his boys are headed for the Wichita Hotel bar with guns.
Go get Sam.
All right.
Miss Ryan, you control your temper.
Oh, but...
And you stay here, understand?
See?
And so, any time that you don't keep the joint clean enough to suit that big head, he can close you? Why, that's against the Supreme Court. Earp's got too big for his britches this time. He needs cutting down to size. Every man that is a man in Wichita ought to start...
Hold it, Morrison.
Howdy, Ben. I was just telling the boys...
I heard what you said. Does he speak for the rest of you, cowhands?
I sure do. How about you, Ben? You with us?
No. Now, any man that speaks against Wyatt Earp speaks against me. And I'm closing this place. It ain't sanitary. So everybody out. Come on. Oh. They was cooking up some devilment, so I'm closing the place. It ain't sanitary.
Look, Ben, when there's any closing to do, I'll do it. Now, you and Finley and the rest of the boys know you're not supposed to be wearing guns.
We under arrest? All right, what? Anything you say.
The rest of you go on back to your drinking.
Hold it. I'm gonna wait for the marshal. Okay, let's go. Come on.
Wyatt. Now, I don't aim to criticize, but I think you're being a mite overconfident about this sanitary business. There's trouble cooking.
Yeah, well, you better take care of your own trouble.
What do you mean?
A girl by the name of Lolita Ryan came to see me.
Lolita, she shouldn't come around bothering you.
Yeah, well, she did. She threatened one of your other girls.
Carolyn or Millie?
She didn't say. You better calm her down.
All right. I sure will, Wyatt.
And another thing, you and I are friendly. All right, that's fine, but well, we can't act too friendly, and people might misunderstand it.
I know. You're the law, and I'm Ben Thompson.
We'll keep it that way.
But Wyatt, I didn't shoot nobody back there or take that saloon apart. All I did was try to be real nice. And another thing, about that judge in the morning. Don't you worry none. If it's going to embarrass you, I'll just say you and me don't even speak.
Just don't say anything.
All right? Pay the fines for me and the boys, and I won't even look at you.
80, 90, 100. There you are, Judge, $100.
There's something about this matter that bothers me, Mr. Thompson. I have a note here from the owner of the hotel, Wichita. He says the trouble started because you resented certain remarks against Marshall Earp.
No, he's mistaken, Judge.
Well, how did the trouble start?
Well, there were these two cowhands, and they was telling it around that my place ain't sanitary. So I said to Jack here, I says, we better put a stop to that false slander. And isn't that right, Jack?
Yes, sir, that's right.
That sounds plausible. I couldn't believe that a man like you would risk a fine to defend Marshall Earp.
We ain't friendly. But I will say this, Your Honor. I don't believe that Marshall Earp should be walking around this town without his deputies the way he does. There's a young foolhead of a cowhand out gunning for him right now.
I can take care of myself.
All right, Wyatt. You're the boss. Good morning, Judge.
Just a minute, Marshall Earp.
Yes, sir?
Is Thompson right about some cowhand gunning for you?
Well, there usually is a cowhand who thinks he wants to gun me, Your Honor.
Yeah. Maybe you should have at least one deputy with you at all times.
I can't spare him. Spread too thin as it is. You just let Ben Thompson worry about me.
Start where you got. Go ahead, start, why don't you? Maybe you think I won't shoot, but I will. You closed my brother's place. You put him out of business. And now I'm going to...
I'm shot! I'm shot! Oh, shut up, kid. You ain't hurt bad. Maybe next time you'll believe me.
Wasn't gonna shoot Ben. He was talking too much. Dr. Fabric's office is just across the street. Go on over.
I'm bleeding! I'm bleeding!
Get out.
Am I arrested again?
Ben, you're not supposed to pack a gun on the streets.
That kid, he was going to plug you.
Ben saved your life, Marshal.
Look, Doc Fabric is going to report a gunshot wound. I couldn't let you go if I wanted to.
Oh, but Marshal...
Shut up, Jack. All right. Let's go see the judge. Where you going? You weren't wearing no gun.
And on your way over, give this to Mayor Hope.
Yes, sir.
Well, what is it this time?
A drunken kid tried to gun me, Your Honor, and he shot him in the arm.
Thompson warned you. What's the charge?
Carrying guns in violation of a city ordinance and careless discharge of firearms.
What have you to say to this, Mr. Thompson?
Well, I reckon Marshall Earp was doing his duty.
Well, I don't. The man saves your life, and you arrest him for misdemeanor. Did you ever hear of gratitude, Marshall Earp?
Now, don't scold him, Judge.
I asked Marshall Earp a question.
Well, sir, I recommend that Ben Thompson be let off this time with a reprimand.
Reprimand? If you haven't the decency to thank Mr. Thompson, I will.
This court expresses its gratitude for assistance rendered Marshall Earp and dismisses his asinine charges against you. You and Thompson aren't friendly. Yet he saves your life at the risk of his own. Greater love hath no man than that. You'd better learn some common humanity, young fella.
Yes.
Sure, I'm sorry, Wyatt.
You played the hand the way you saw it. Oh, what have you done about this girl, Lolita?
Lolita. You know, I plumb forgot about her when I heard that young Jim North was...
Well, that's all over now. You just take care of that girl.
Yes, sir. Right away, Wyatt, believe me.
I'm going over to the hotel, and I want you to send word over to me there that she promised to behave.
I'll marry her. Anything.
Good. Well, wait a minute. You can't marry her. You're already married.
Lolita don't know that.
But that's bigamy.
Don't get sore.
Well, I'm not sore. It's just that I want you to stop making trouble around here. That's all. Another thing, don't go around saying that you love me like a brother. If you're going to say anything, say that you hate me.
Okay, Wyatt?
What's the matter? Not so loud.
She's after me. Shut the door.
Who's that? Come here.
Oh, she's after me. Stop me. Oh.
Where'd you get you?
Here, it's bleeding. I can feel it.
Let's get the doctor for Big's office. And you stay here. You're under arrest.
I told you I'd get her. Let me go. You let me go.
Come on.
Ben's best friend. You take sides with that Millie Spencer. Fine friend you are.
Marshall Earp, what's all this?
Felonious assault, Your Honor. This is Lolita Ryan. She cut a girl with a knife.
Oh, next time I'll really cut her.
That'll do, young woman. How's the girl badly hurt?
Not too bad, sir. According to Dr. Fabrique, it's just a cut in the rib.
And where did this affray take place?
In Wyatt's room at the hotel, Judge.
Really?
She's nothing but a dyed-haired, blind crybaby. She ran into Wyatt's room to make trouble with Ben and me.
Ben? Not Ben Thompson.
Yes, sir. I told Wyatt last night he must make Ben get rid of this girl. But does he help? Oh, no. Ben must be loco. He picks a John Law for best friend.
Marshall Earp?
Yes, sir?
I was never under the impression that you and Thompson were friendly.
Well, we're fairly good
He
friends.
pretends to be Ramon and Romulus with Ben. He lets him come into Wichita and open up the Orient Saloon. But does he help him get rid of Millie? Or no? Look at me, Judge. If you were Ben's true friend, would you let Millie make trouble?
I haven't seen Millie.
Well, she's one of...
Silence. Well, I guess we'll have to lock her up. Deputy?
Lock me up? For how long?
Until tonight. We have no place for female prisoners to sleep.
Okay. You're a nice man. You tell Ben Thompson to get rid of that Millie. And as for you...
That'll do. Put her in the old courtroom and ask Mrs. McGee to keep an eye on her.
Yes, sir.
You take Millie. You can have her.
Come on.
I can make a fair guess as to what happened. You gave Thompson a break, and he kind of latched on to you.
Yes, sir.
Well, it can't go on, Wyatt.
I know it.
I'd explain matters in a nice way and suggest that he leave town.
Yeah, I guess that's the way it's going to have to be.
You don't seem too happy about it.
I just can't order him out of town, Judge. I mean, he's clean as far as the law is concerned.
But with his great devotion to you, he'll go as a personal favor, won't he?
Yeah, I reckon he will. I guess Ramon will just have to part with Romulus.
Wyatt's outside. Said he's got to talk to you.
Did he look sore?
He didn't look too happy.
That Lolita. She ought to be pistol whipped.
What am I going to tell Wyatt?
Well, tell him I'm here. I don't hide from my friends.
Oh, look, Ben. Lie to him just once. Tell him you ordered Millie and Lolita to get out of town. This is the best gambling spot we ever had.
I don't lie to my friends either. Now you get out there and tell him I'm here. Door is open.
I suppose you heard what Lolita did to Millie, huh?
You got a right to be sore, Wyatt. Real sore.
Being sore ain't the point. The point is it's liable to keep on happening.
You want me to leave?
It'd be a big favor.
You just think it would.
I know it would.
Sit down. Wyatt, tomorrow's Sunday.
There's no rush.
That ain't what I mean. You plan to go to church in the morning or in the evening?
I don't know. Why?
You aim to go at all?
Yeah.
Where are your guns?
I don't wear my guns to church.
Well, wear them tomorrow and watch behind every bush and tree. Look, Wyatt, I'm leveling with you. That dance hall crowd has brought in 2 men to bushwhack you.
Oh, that's just talk, Ben.
No, it ain't just talk. Now, that's what you said when I told you about that North kid gunning for you, too. And I saved your skin that time, but you're too big-headed to admit it. You're big-headed and you're stubborn. And you got some fool idea that you can handle everything all by yourself.
I've done all right so far.
So far. And you're good with a gun, sure, but you can't take on all of Douglas Avenue all by yourself. And these men tomorrow, they ain't gonna give you a chance for a stand-up gunfight. They're gonna cut you down as you walk on your way to church. Now, can't you get that through your thick skull?
Would you mind leaving on Monday?
All right. All right. I'll leave Monday, and you go right ahead and get your inside shot out, and I won't give a hoot. I won't even send no flowers.
Well, now you begin to sound like the old Ben Thompson I used to know.
I ain't your friend, and I never was.
Good. So long, Ben.
Goodbye. And have a nice long sleep on Boot Hill.
You and him have a row?
Yeah.
Say, that's great. He tried to order us out of town?
That chance he's got of making it stick, he'll be dead tomorrow. And I can stop it, too. But I won't. I'm not even gonna lift my little finger. Let him die. Mike, hold on.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Murdoch. I see you've been working late again, huh?
I just heard a wild sort of a rumor, but it worried me.
The bushwhacker talk, huh?
Yeah. An ambush somewhere on this side of town.
Near church.
But if you knew about it, where are your guns?
Mr. Murdoch, I thank you for the warning, but well, if I was going to look for a hole every time some drunken cowhand said he was going to bushwhack me, I'd have to crawl underground like a prairie dog.
Yes, but look,
now, you go on home and get shaved. I'll see you at church.
Listen,
I'll
Wyatt.
see you later.
What if he wears his guns?
It won't do him any good if he does wear them.
Get set. Here he comes.
Wyatt, get down! Get up!
So long, Wyatt. You seen your pal? Thanks, Ben.
Up the country, the old Wild West country, he made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame and long live his glory. and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
Every hoodlum in Wichita, Kansas wanted to get rid of Marshal Wyatt Earp. Men were hired to shoot him, and they failed. Earp had been out of town, and a crooked gambler by the name of Keno McGee had taken advantage of his absence to achieve some very profitable results. When the cat's away, mice will play.
Get out of here! No picture! Set it up. I don't want any trouble with you, Murdoch. But you newspaper guys got no business taking pictures of my place. What are you hiding, Keno? What's the sense of you and me arguing? I got a license from the Marshal's office to open. Sure, while Marshall Earp is out of town. You couldn't have gotten it when he was here. Pete Dahlgren is deputy while Earp's away. Now take your complaints to him. Don't bother me. Go ahead, take it. Hey, you, none of that! Wait, you have a public license. I want a picture of what a crooked gambling place looks like. Go ahead and take it. Give me that plate! Come on,
Get
take
that
it back.
camera busted!
Hold it! Hold it, Mac! Hold it! Hold it! That's Marshall Earp. Go on inside.
The rest of you men, break it up. Go on, move.
What took you so long? You said you'd be gone only 10 or 12 days.
I'll tell you about that later. Now, what's going on here?
I want Keno's place closed. I want you to take back his license. Oh, no, Mr. Murdoch. We just kind of lost our tempers, that's all.
Your name's Keno?
Keno McGee. And Pete Dahlgren, your deputy, gave me permission to open this place. But Murdoch here... Shut up. Things have been happening in your office while you were away. You better look into them and look into them fast, or I'll have a story to write you might not like. See you later. Thanks. That camera cost me $300. Isn't all paid for yet.
You say my chief deputy gave you permission to open?
Pete Dahlgren, while you were down in Oklahoma territory. Murdoch doesn't like me. It's a case of personal prejudice. If you don't believe it, just ask Pete.
I will. Now, Mr. McGee, you got a good corner here. The saloon has always made money. You just keep your nose clean.
Oh, hello, Marshal. We missed you around here.
I missed you, too. What do you got?
He's got a shipment of new cards. Gotta change them every now and then.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's hard to keep 52 of them in the same deck. That's what causes a lot of trouble in Wichita.
Which brings you to your point. I mean, you want something. You didn't just come in and chin with me.
All right. You know all the saloon keepers and gamblers in Wichita. What do you know about Keno McGee?
Sometimes I think you don't like me.
Why do you say that?
Because every time you ask me a question, it's one I could get shot for answering.
Well, you'll be waving goodbye to a lot of people around here, so don't let it worry you. Now, we're talking about Keno.
Must have been a one-sided conversation. But if you have to know, I ran across him in Dodge a few years ago, before I ever had a place of my own. As a matter of fact, he asked me to work for him as a dealer. Thought I'd be a novelty.
Go on.
They were fixing to run him out of Dodge at that time.
Man's got to be a pretty bad boy to be run out of Dodge. Crooked gambling?
Oh, lots of reasons. Blackmail, payoffs. He don't stop anywhere.
Sounds like a nice, pleasant fellow.
That's why I wish you wouldn't ask me those kind of questions. Because people like Keno don't stop anywhere.
Well, don't worry, Miss Kay.
Don't worry.
I didn't know the right thing to do about Keno. You was off to Oklahoma territory helping your Indian friends. I just had to use my own best judgment, Wyatt.
Did Mr. Murdoch tell you that Keno's application for a license had been turned down once before?
Yes, he did. But they've been enemies for years. The way I got it, Keno tried to buy the mortgage on the Eagle, put Murdoch out of business. But that's ancient history, Wyatt.
How long has he been operating?
Opened a week ago Thursday, about 10 days.
Any trouble so far?
No, sir. Sam Renfro knows the man better than I do, but
But both Sam and I agreed that the man was entitled to a license.
Well, I'm not asking you to explain anything, Pete. It's just that this man's got a pretty bad reputation.
Well, if I did wrong, I'll get my horse and start riding.
Well, I don't think you did wrong. I think you did what you thought was right. You and the rest of the deputies have backed me to the limit so far, and I feel the same way about all of you. So let you and I keep our eye on Keno.
Thanks, Wyatt.
Oh, howdy, Sam. Oh, Pete, if you see Mr. Murdoch out there around, will you send him on over?
Murdoch's not here yet, huh?
No, not yet.
Hey, you must have had quite a showdown with that Daggett gang.
Well, I sure could have used you and that great left-handed shooting of yours.
Captain Benteen says you saved them 2 Indians from the happy hunting ground. You turned up a cache of 400 Winchesters. Daggett gang aimed to sell the Sitting Bull for whatever he's up to in Montana.
What's been happening around Wichita?
No grief. Just that row Pete must have told you about. You think it was a mistake to give Keno the license?
No, not exactly.
I'd close the fellow, Wyatt. Why take the risk? Murdoch's all riled up. He'll start a big hoorah.
Pete said you were in favor of the license.
I was. I said to him what I say to you. Keno's a real slimy character. But they haven't yet made that a reason why a man can't get a license. I'll tell you what I'd do, Wyatt.
Don't let me stop you, Sam.
Lucky you did, sir. Wyatt's my boss. I got no business telling him what to do. Excuse me.
Is that man a good officer?
He's the best hand with a gun I got. He's so brave, he scares me.
Oh, now, Wyatt.
Well, what's the news in Wichita?
A story I hope I won't have to print.
The city refuses to take any action on Keno McGee, huh? Look, Mr. Murdoch, if I tried to close Keno's place without any evidence, I'd be putting my chief deputy under suspicion.
And if I print that story, you and your whole staff will be under suspicion.
Go ahead and print it.
Wyatt, are you sure of your deputies?
What do you mean?
Do you trust them?
Like I trust myself. Well, I handpicked each one of those men. When I walk into trouble, like a bunch of drunken cowhands boasting that they're going to cut me down, all I got to do is give the word that I want 2 deputies to back me, and they'll be there. I don't even have to look around to see whether it's Sam, Pete, Ted, or Joe. I know they'll be there.
Oh, no, Wyatt. We're talking about different things.
Look, you're probably right about Keno McGee, but I'm not going to change Pete's decision unless Keno gets out of line.
Excuse me, Wyatt. Rowdy Kate wants to see you right away. But the way I got it was mighty important.
Thanks.
It's him, Miss Kate. It's the Marshal.
Well, send him on up.
You can come up, Mr. Earp.
And close that door and don't try to listen.
Oh, no, Miss Kate.
Hello, Wyatt. I don't know why I let you get me all mixed up in your affairs. Maybe it's because you kissed me that day.
Oh, look, let's not go into that again. Besides...
I know. It was really me who kissed you.
Well, it's all been very pleasant. Now, why did you send for me?
You've done me several good turns, Wyatt, and I'm fond of you. You asked me a lot about Keno McGee. So now I can really tell you something.
What?
Have you heard that Keno McGee owns one of your deputies?
Well, I hate to think that, Miss Kate.
Well, could be barroom talk, but I've a hunch it's true.
Who? Well, come on, tell me. Which one of my deputies do you think Keno's bought?
Well, the way I heard it, it's Pete Dahlgren.
That's just a hunch based on spy talk. I don't think Pete'd take a bribe.
Well, he let McGee open. He knew that Murdoch hates Keno.
Well, Pete explained all of that to me, Miss Kate. But I thank you for your interest.
Wyatt, listen to me. It's only a gal's guess, but this gal has been around. If Keno did buy Pete, then he can work some kind of a dirty frame on you, right? Open your eyes, Wyatt. Protect yourself. Mildred?
Yes, Miss Kate, excuse me.
Now what is it?
Mr. Earp, Mr. Murdoch sent word he's waiting at your office.
Thank you. And don't worry. I'll be careful.
Well, glory, hallelujah. A man's taken my advice.
I had to send for you, Wyatt. What's the matter? Anonymous letter was waiting for me at my office. Read it.
Bribe money in Wyatt Earp's desk. Letting Keno McGee stay open. You think I had something to do with this?
Oh, don't be an idiot. It's like I've been trying to tell you. One of your deputies is framing you.
About $300 worth.
All right. Let's call in all of your deputies and face them with it.
First man to face with it is Keno.
That's exactly what he wants. Since you found the money in the desk, you'd have a hard time explaining yourself.
Our only chance to find the man who planted that money is to make Keno think his frame worked.
Too risky, Wyatt. You'll lose your star. That would make Pete Dahlgren acting marshal. He's the one who helped frame you.
I don't believe that. If Pete did do it, I'll get him. But how can I accuse him or any of the other deputies? Well, what proof do I have?
Well, there's no proof.
All right. You take this money over to Keno and accuse him of bribing me.
Have him hauled before Judge Stewart.
That's right.
So he takes away your star and your guns.
Well, that's exactly what Keno wants, so let's play along with him.
You intend to move around this town without your guns?
Well, that's the law of Wichita.
Yes. Maybe you'll be stuck with it. And this is the money that Mr. McGee admits sending to Marshall Earp. I found the money in the marshal's desk.
But it ain't a bribe or anything like that, Your Honor. It's a free will contribution to the peace officers' Christmas fund.
Did Marshall Earp solicit this contribution?
Well, no, sir, he didn't. He just sort of hinted if I wanted to stay in business around here, I better pay up.
This is an astounding charge, Marshall Earp. Have you anything to say?
Nothing, Your Honor.
You realize this leaves the court no choice but to suspend you?
Yes, sir.
The court would like to state, for the benefit of the press, that it reserves judgment on Marshall Earp's guilt or innocence. Mr. Earp, you will be suspended for 1 week. If at the end of that period you have not offered a satisfactory explanation of the matter, you will be removed from office permanently. Court's adjourned.
And all I'm saying is, one of us framed Wyatt. I'm not gonna take this.
Don't look at me. I had nothing to do with it.
You let Keno McGee open up.
You felt the same way I did about it. We both felt he at least had a right to open. I want to find out who sent that money. I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Pete? You're acting marshal now.
I think we should all quit.
All right. I'm willing.
So am I.
No. Not all of you. Just one of you should quit.
Keno's thrown his bar wide open to celebrate. Free grub and drinks.
I'll pay him a visit.
No, I'll do that. Put those on, you might need them.
I can't. The judge suspended me.
Now, do you want to be legal or do you want to be dead? Keep those handy.
I'll have plenty of time to put them on after I find out who helped Keno in the deal.
I think I can find out.
Oh?
Now, you go to the hotel. Stay off the streets. Promise?
All right.
Now, wait here a second until I've got a good start for Keno's place.
You be careful.
You're the one who better be careful.
Come in, come in.
It's Rowdy Kate, boss. She wants to see you.
Well, bring her in.
Come in, Miss Kate.
Miss Kate, my darling, my competitor, but still my friend, I hope.
Sure, Keno. Pull that out for me since you're feeling like a gent tonight.
Well, it'd be a privilege. There you are, Kate.
Thank you. Well, Wyatt Earp got fired. Where's the champagne?
Champagne, the best in the house. Somebody told me that you and Earp used to be friends.
Used to be for about a week. What's the next move, boss?
No move. Why do you call me boss?
I didn't come here to play games. I want to stay in business. When do you really open up the town? Wild and woolly Wichita, like it used to be.
Not yet. Maybe soon.
Dahlgren's your man, isn't he?
I'm not talking yet.
I don't want to go swimming in this.
I'd fill a bathtub for you, sweetheart. You just say the word. Pete Dahlgren. Somebody shot him. Too bad. You better make your champagne, Kate.
Oh, listen, Keno. I came here to talk business. Dahlgren was your man, wasn't he?
You want to know? The whole town wants to know. We'll tell you when the time comes.
But no freeze out.
You got no worries. Take it easy. You're one of us. There'll be a man around to collect.
Naturally.
Drink up, Kate.
How is he, Doc?
Pete was shot in the back by a left-handed man.
When will Dahlgren be able to tell us who shot him?
Don't be an idiot. Pete never knew what hit him. The fella snuck up behind him. Questioning Pete won't do any good. Pete's dead.
I'm sorry, Wyatt.
It's kind of rough when a man has to die to clear himself. You tell Mayor Hope that I want Sam Renfro named as acting marshal.
Yeah. Sure, I'll tell him.
Who is it?
Wyatt.
Sit down.
No. You hear about Pete?
I was with Keno when it happened. Who do you think killed him?
Oh, I wish I knew.
If they find out I'm mixed up in all of this, they'll come gunning for me. Wyatt, I'm scared.
What did Keno say when Pete was killed?
Just that it was too bad. Will you put on your guns?
Yeah.
Stay here?
I'll try and keep you from harm, you know that.
Wyatt, it was Sam Renfro.
What makes you say that?
I can add 2 and 2. Keno wouldn't deal until Pete was killed. Now he says a man will be around to collect for me every week.
I'm gonna get my guns. I'll be right back. You stay close to Mildred.
Thanks, Wyatt.
I'll send her right up.
Hey, Ted, you and Joe come in here and help me clean up this mess of paper.
Can't you hear me?
Sam, Keno said someone talked. He wouldn't say who, but words around Earp's gone for his guns.
Tell Keno I'll be right down.
Yes, sir.
Who is it?
Sam Renfro. Open up. Give it to me straight. Who knows about me?
Wait a minute, Sam. Who you pushing around?
I said give it to me straight. Who'd you talk to?
Well, only Kate, but she agreed to pay. She's good people.
Good people. She's one of Wyatt's best friends, you fool.
If that man's coming to shoot us, why don't we run out of here?
It's only been a few minutes. Why? It'll come.
Yes, but what if Mr. Earp don't get here first? What then? That's him. It ain't Mr. Earp. Don't you go to that door, please.
Wyatt?
Yes? Sam just killed Keno McGee. I think he's on his way over here.
Oh, good Lord.
You clear out, Mildred. He's not after you.
No, sir. I stay with Miss Kate.
All right. And you get over against that wall. Miss Kate, when he comes, you open the door, then you flatten yourself against that wall. All right, remember, keep back against the wall. Shh.
Who is it?
Marshal Renfro, Miss Kate. Open up.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Sam. You go for that gun, I'll break both your arms. That means the left one first. Just like you shot Pete in the back.
You're not that good.
And are you willing to state that you dictated this confession and signed it of your own free will? You're charged with the murder of Keno McGee, also the murder of Chief Deputy Dalton on the streets of Wichita. You will be remanded to jail and held there for trial. Take him away.
Judge, I won't be safe in jail. As soon as this courtroom's cleared, it's just a matter of time until some mob breaks in here to get me. I won't be safe, Judge.
You'll be safe, Your Honor. No lynch mob's gonna get to him. The other deputies and I'll see to that. If I had wanted to take his life, I'd have taken it when he tried to murder Miss Kate. He's worried about a mob. Well, I wonder if he's also worried about the fact that he blackened the good name of a fellow worker and then murdered him. I wonder if he's worried about the fact that Miss Kate's still alive and that he was stopped before he could kill me. No, Mr. Renfro. There are other things more important than mobs. But don't you worry. I'm not going to let a lynch mob get you. You can rest assured of that. No. I want you to stand before this court and be legally tried and sentenced to hang. I've never asked that penalty before. But in the case of Sam Renfro, I believe it to be just and fair. I thank Your Honor for hearing me out.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.